Think?
I thought it was an excellent introduction. It reminds me, I mean, I like how the left keeps going back and forth on whether they love our men in blue or they're killers.
Yeah, they hated them last year.
Right. It switches depending on the issue. And, you know, I like cops, but the motto is when seconds count, we'll be there in minutes. That's why some of us want to be armed and protect ourselves. And I think one of the creepiest things about these shootings is all this advice that the students are getting about running and hiding. No, I'm sorry. I'm an American. I'm not running and hiding. I would like to be armed and at least have a fighting chance. We have especially seen now the police, who are the only ones liberals want to have guns. They'll protect us. They'll take care of us. Well, no, they really can't.
And look, the policeman that was armed and trained failed to protect the students he was
and they're getting warning after warning. That's why some of us want to be armed ourselves. I do think the idea, I don't know who's floating it now, but of having an armed guard at schools is completely moronic. That's the first guy the psychotic takes out. Just shoot me.
Right.
No, that's the beauty part of, I mean, all these states, thanks to John Lott, now have concealed carry. And the way it's being portrayed on the other networks is we want all teachers armed. No, I promise you we don't want that.
It's like the third grade science teacher's packing a pistol right in her apron pocket.
No, it's people, including students on college campuses. I mean, there were a lot of kids, remember after Virginia Tech, there were a lot of kids who came forward and said, I am trained. I have a concealed carry permit. I have to leave it off campus before I step on campus. But if I'd had my gun that day. No, it's just to allow people who have been trained, who have their concealed carry permit. That includes coaches. It includes administrators, teachers. In some cases, like colleges, it will include some of the students. And then the psycho doesn't know who has the gun.
Right, and the father who we showed made a great point. We protect everything we love in this country with guns. Banks, politicians, celebrities, stadiums. Why don't we protect our children? And I want to address the fact that a lot of people, I don't know if they saw the Wednesday forum, the tone was perfect. Trump listened. There was a really respectful exchange of ideas. And then you contrast that with what happened over at CNN. And they stacked the audience, and Marco Rubio and Dana Lash, NRA spokesperson, to their credit, went to the belly of the beast and just were totally treated like villains. Let's show some of that.
Can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future? I wish the NRA lady I could have talked to, because I would ask her how she can look in the mirror, considering the fact that she has children.
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. You can shout me down when I'm finished, but let me answer Emma's question.
You just told this group of people that you are standing up for them. You're not standing up for them until you say, I want less weapons.
And that was the sheriff whose own deputy failed to protect the students. I see such a contrast. The momentum was going in the right direction when the president was listening to the families. And then CNN comes out with this trash and sets the entire conversation back. Did you see that forum?
Sadly, I was out, but hopefully I can find it online.
You weren't at the airport that day?
It looks fantastic. Something I definitely want to see.
I mean, they were calling the NRA spokeswoman a murderer.
Yeah, I've heard. It sounds to me as if they were not fairly giving both sides. I think they kind of had the panel stacked, but turn on CNN or MSNBC any hour, any day of the week. You're not going to see John Lott. You're not going to see me. You're not going to see any coherent conservative on any of the programs.
They don't present both sides in the gun debate. It's only anti-gun. Rush Limbaugh mentioned this on his radio show. Let's hear what he had to say.
Last night, somebody in that CNN crowd went public very loudly with what the real ultimate objective is, and that's the confiscation of all weapons currently out there in the country. That's the objective. The audience booed Marco Rubio. The audience booed Dana Loesch. This is what indoctrination looks like. This is what a lifetime of propagandizing and indoctrination in the schools looks like.
Do you agree with that?
Well, I would like to say about the students, they are brilliant, passionate, articulate, make their own clothes, beautiful dancers. That's apparently all we can say about people who are making policy arguments. As I wrote about in Godless, the last time I actually shut up liberals for at least a decade on this human shield, sending out victims to make their arguments for them. Look, fine, you can make your argument for gun confiscation or banning this or that gun, but could you not have someone weeping who just had a family member die deliver that argument? Because you're just saying, oh yeah, our argument is so good, we're going to send out someone you can't argue back to. Yeah. Let you know, I don't know, Jake Tapper or whomever was hosting it, and again, I didn't see it, let him make the argument. Let Rachel Maddow make the argument. But you can't be sending out people we're not allowed to respond to, i.e. weeping children. The idea of confiscating guns, I mean, what liberals seem to believe is that they can create a world without guns. But I must tell you, in a world without guns, I'm what's known as prey. A world without guns is very frightening to, you know, a small female. The only way, I mean, as the saying goes, God made man and woman and Colonel Colt made them equal. It's the only way I have a fighting chance.
Well, don't tell everybody that you're packing. We don't want everybody. We want people to be. You want you to be unpredictable.
I want them to be surprised.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be a big surprise.
That's right, right in the chest. Speaking of surprises, we had a little surprise coming out of this CNN thing. One of these students claims that CNN, when they recruited him to be a member of the forum, tried to doctor his questions, tried to change his script. Here was his allegation. It's Colton Hobb.
They had taken what I had wrote and what I had briefed on and talked about, and they actually wrote the question for me.
But not with your words. I mean, they put their own words into your question, even after they'd asked you to send questions in. But that seems dishonest.
It definitely did, and that's kind of why I didn't go last night. Originally, I had thought that it was going to be more of my own question and my own say, and then it turned out to be more of just a script. And she had actually said that over the phone, that I needed to stick to the script.
All right, well, I have to read this. CNN is denying this. They're saying there's absolutely no truth to this. CNN did not provide or script questions for anyone in last night's town hall, nor have we ever. Kind of hard to believe when they were caught feeding Hillary questions for the debate through Donna Brazil. I mean, CNN's having a bad week, man.
Yes, they are. But like I say, turn it on any hour of any day. You can see only certain points of view are allowed. And I mean, I do think that's a mistake, because I think it's gotten so much worse under Trump. It's fun to argue about politics. You refine your own position. But you can't see that on the other networks. And they go off and get crazier and crazier ideas when, if you just had one person to give the other side there, it would be so much more interesting. And maybe you'd have a response. Maybe there would be a response.
It's not fair.
But we'll never know.
It's not fair and balanced. Do you even know what the Democrats want to do on guns? All I know is that we have to do something. I'm not sure what that something is.
I would also
do you believe it's confiscation?
I would like to do something too, and that is an immigration moratorium and mass deportations. As I wrote about this week, 47% of all mass shootings since 2000 have been committed by first or second generation immigrants. I mean, if you take out some of the frightening ones and spectacular ones committed by immigrants and the children of immigrants, San Bernardino, the Pulse nightclub, Fort Hood, Virginia Tech. You take out some of the really big ones, what you're left with are these sad young men with what is pretty clearly paranoid schizophrenia, and then we can deal with it as a mental health problem. But you want to cut mass shootings in half like that, and you got to put an end to Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act, just so, you know, Teddy could have a legacy. We have to live with twice as many mass shootings as we would. Oh, and by the way, most people don't know this, also in my column. We have fewer mass shootings than many developed countries, Finland, France, England.
Per capita, you're right.
And
that's
98%,
a total lie that's perpetrated on the American people.
And most important stat on this whole issue, I should have said it 17 times already, 98% of our mass shootings take place in gun-free zones.
There you go. I've never heard the immigration issue tied to mass shootings, Ann. I'll let people in the audience chew on that one. And we got to run.
You'll see the list.
We got to run. But
we will make America great again.